This is a story titled Bayii. Bayii grew up in Alaruta, a quiet village surrounded by dense forests and whispers of forgotten traditions. Life in Alaruta had never been kind to him. Born into poverty, Bayii was the son of Mama Bayii, a widow struggling to make ends meet. His clothes were worn, his meals sparse, and his dignity often trampled on by his peers. Chaki, the self-proclaimed leader of the village youth, took great pleasure in tormenting Bayii. Rag boy. Chaki would sneer as he and his gang pushed Bayii into the dirt. "You'll never be anything but a poor man's son." Bayii bore it all in silence, but Sasha's laughter cut the deepest. He had admired Sasha from afar, her bright smile and confident demeanor lighting up the village paths. But she, too, joined in the mockery, her sweet voice laced with ridicule whenever Bayii tried to approach her. Mama Bayii was his only solace. "You are meant for greatness, my son," she would say, cupping his still strict face in her hands. "Never let their words define you." One day, after a particularly cruel encounter where Chaki and Sasha humiliated him in front of the entire village, Bayii couldn't hold back his tears. That evening, he sat by their small fire, his fist clenched. "Mama," he began, his voice thick with emotion, "I can't stay here anymore. There's nothing for me in Alaruta. I have to leave for the city. I'll fight to change our lives." Mama Bayii's eyes filled with worry. "The city is a harsh place, Bayii. You don't know anyone there. What will you eat? Where will you sleep?" "I don't care, Mama," Bayii said, his voice steady. "We can barely eat here. I must go." With a heavy heart, Mama Bayii prayed over him and blessed him, handing him the little money she had saved. "May the spirits guide your steps, my son." Bayii boarded a creaky old bus bound for Cardiff, the city of opportunities, or so he thought. The journey was long, and as the bus reached the outskirts of Cardiff, it sputtered and stalled. The driver announced that the vehicle was beyond repair. Bayii's heart sank, but his determination burned brighter. Spotting a minibus emerging from a bush path, he waved frantically. "Please, I need a ride to Cardiff." The minibus slowed, and four muscular men inside exchanged glances before gesturing for him to enter. "Come on, boy," one said with a smile. Grateful, Bayii climbed aboard, ignoring the unease that crept into his chest. 15 minutes into the journey, a sharp blow to the back of his head sent him into darkness. When Bayii awoke, he found himself in a dense forest. His hands and legs were tied, and beside him sat a young girl, her face streaked with tears. Two armed men stood nearby, their faces hard and unfeeling. "Oh, you're awake," one sneered. "Eat something. The merchant prefers his goods alive." Bayii's stomach churned as he realized what they meant. The girl, Tarii, whispered, "They've had me for months. They're going to sell us." Tarii's story. As the men turned their backs, Tarii whispered her story. She had been abducted from Cardiff while returning from school. Her father, a wealthy estate owner, had spent months searching for her. "We have to escape," Bayii said, his voice firm. "I won't let them sell us." That night, while the captors feasted, Bayii used a sharp rock to free himself. Untying Tarii, he whispered, "Stay close to me." The captors realized their escape too late. "They're gone," one shouted. Gunfire echoed as Bayii and Tarii sprinted through the forest, the blue moonlight filtering through the trees. Branches snapped, leaves rustled, and the men's voices grew louder behind them. Just as Bayii felt they couldn't run any farther, they stumbled upon a group of hunters armed with rifles. "Help us!" Bayii cried. The hunters raised their weapons as the captors burst into the clearing. Shots rang out, and the captors fell, their sinister deeds brought to an end. Tarii revealed her identity to the hunters, who escorted them back to Cardiff. Her father, overwhelmed with relief, embraced her tightly. "You saved my daughter," he said to Bayii, his voice thick with gratitude. "I owe you my life. Please, let me repay you." Bayii was offered a position as the manager of one of the man's estates, a role that transformed his life. Months later, Bayii returned to Alaruta, this time in a convoy of luxury cars. Villagers peered from their huts, whispering in amazement. Mama Bayii rushed out of their humble home, tears streaming down her face as she embraced her son. "Bayii, you've returned." "Yes, Mama," Bayii said, his voice filled with emotion. "We don't have to suffer anymore." Word spread quickly, and soon Chaki and Sasha appeared, their faces pale with shock. "Bayii," Sasha stammered, unable to meet his eyes. Bayii looked at them calmly. "You mocked me, but I didn't let your words define me. I hope you've learned that kindness is a greater strength." Bayii didn't just stop at transforming his own life. He used his wealth to improve Alaruta, building schools, roads, and a health center. The villagers came to respect him not just for his success but for his generosity and resilience. His story became a legend, a tale of courage, determination, and the triumph of a boy who refused to let the world break him. The end. Please subscribe to our channel to get more exciting videos.